Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and this isn't really a typical Overwatch video that I make because it's involving Blizzard, but like the whole entire Blizzard company, not just the Overwatch division. But if you guys haven't heard, today Blizzard officially announced that they will be canceling BLIZZCON this year because of what's going on in the world. And while that definitely sucks, the writing was kind of on the wall because BLIZZCON is probably the last place that anybody would want to go to, let alone travel to in the year 2020, because hundreds and thousands of people all packed into one tiny little convention center. That really is just a recipe for a disaster. Again, I'm not trying to discuss the politics, but it's just better safe than sorry for Blizzard to say, hey, BlizzCon is going to be happening this year, and then the thing that's going on in the world just continues to get worse, and then thousands of people getting packed into one single convention center. Yeah, that's not smart, Chief. And then Blizzard looks bad, and they already look bad because the last BlizzCon, nobody can win. But I totally understand why they're canceling it. It just really does suck for many different reasons. I mean, in the case of me, it sucks for me because now I don't get to travel and see a lot of the friends that I made from the Overwatch community, all two of them, but it also sucks because now the question is, okay, well, what about Overwatch 2? Now, I don't want this to be insensitive that I'm talking about Overwatch 2 because of BlizzCon getting canceled because of a pandemic, but it's still something that will be on a lot of people's mind. Now that BlizzCon is canceled, what is the future of Overwatch 2? Because you already know something was gonna go down at BlizzCon this year involving Overwatch 2. Whether it was the official release date, whether it was more gameplay for people at BlizzCon to have exclusive access to, but now that it's canceled, what is the future of Overwatch 2? Is Overwatch 2 gonna be canceled? I really doubt it. Or is it gonna be delayed even further because now their plans to release Overwatch 2 fully at BlizzCon is not gonna happen, which for the longest time, I was not a big advocate for them to fully release Overwatch 2 at BlizzCon, even though it would make sense. But what is the future of Overwatch 2 now that BlizzCon is not going to be happening? Well, obviously, you know Blizzard is going to have to adapt when releasing all the information that they otherwise would have released during a convention to now just online mediums, releasing it on their YouTube channel, releasing it on their blogs and on their Twitter and Instagram, just everything to try to get it to the mass of people that they possibly can. Because that is the whole point of BlizzCon. A lot of people think that BlizzCon is a place for nerds to come together and have a good time, which it is. It definitely is. But from the marketing perspective, BlizzCon is a promotional tool. If you can get all the biggest nerds together, and I really do mean it, all the biggest World of Warcraft nerds, StarCraft nerds, or like me, Overwatch nerds, and you announce all the big plans for Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 and World of Warcraft expansions, then more than likely those nerds are going to report it to their followers. It's kind of like a trickle-down effect where the convention is the tree trunk, the roots are the nerds, and then all the tiny little roots are their followers. In the case of Overwatch 2, it's way more effective and way better for Blizzard for them to have exclusive Overwatch 2 gameplay information and access to a certain amount of people, because obviously the game is not finished. Obviously there's going to be bugs and glitches, and they don't want those bugs and glitches to get out to the public and for them to really try to expose Blizzard and try to hate on them when they can just invite top content creators such as myself to experience Overwatch 2, still report on all the good things of Overwatch 2 and all the bad things. Well, they can then fix it in the months to come and then release a good polished product. Now they can't really do that unless they were to do this. What I think is going to happen, and this is all just speculation, I know literally nothing about Overwatch 2, I don't have an insider, I know nothing, so this is just my guess based on pure logic, but what I think is going to happen for the online BlizzCon convention is that they are going to announce the release date of Overwatch 2, and I don't know when that's going to be, but alongside the release date, they're going to have a beta for Overwatch 2, an online beta where you can experience that same campaign mission and that same multiplayer Toronto map that they had at last year's BlizzCon available for everybody who owns Overwatch 1. You gotta think, there's already a playable demo of the Overwatch 2 story mission. I mean, I got to play it, so why not let mass amounts of people play it after a year of it already being out? On top of that, the multiplayer. I mean, from my experience, Overwatch 2 multiplayer is really no different other than a few skin changes and a few UI differences and obviously a new map and a new game mode, but I'm pretty sure if a playable demo was at last year's BlizzCon a year later, I think you can kind of release it for the mass of people. Because you gotta think, if BlizzCon was even gonna go on this year, if they were to announce Overwatch 2 release date, which everyone has access to, not just the people at BlizzCon, and if they were to have that same Overwatch 2 multiplayer and campaign experience that they had in the 2019 BlizzCon, it's not gonna do anything. The people at BlizzCon are not gonna have anything new to report on other than the release date, but everybody has access to that release date, and everybody's already played Overwatch 2 at that BlizzCon because more than likely they were at last year's BlizzCon. Whereas if they were to do this for the online BlizzCon where they release the Overwatch 2 release date, on top of that the beta, then that's a whole different marketing tool that they can use to their advantage because now they get Overwatch 2 in the hands of so many other people, build up hype so that they can release Overwatch 2 for next year's anniversary event. I am not letting go of that possibility of them releasing the next chapter of Overwatch for the 5th anniversary event. But god dang, we gotta wait almost another year of Overwatch 2. I want it now, Blizzard. So really what I think is gonna happen is that all the exclusive access that otherwise would have been put on for the people at BlizzCon and only the people at BlizzCon is gonna be forgo at the expense of, well, people's health, which I think is a good expense to have. If there was gonna be a new hero, a new map, a new game mode exclusively for people at BlizzCon, well, that exclusive access is just gonna be forgo and then released on PTR PC and then eventually to everybody playing Overwatch. And that's also another good point that I forgot to bring up is a new hero, because every single BlizzCon there was a new playable hero for the people to play with at BlizzCon, with the exception of last year's BlizzCon where they had Overwatch 2, which I think is a good replacement of a playable hero in my opinion. But in 2016 they released Sombra, and then people that were at BlizzCon got exclusive access to playing Sombra. And then in 2017 same thing, but they had the brand new hero Moira. And then in 2018 they released Ashe, more importantly Bob, and then 2019 they had Overwatch 2, so I guess I'm wrong there. I'm sorry for everybody that want to correct me in the comments. But then in 2020, what was going to happen? Well, you have to also remember that Echo was the last hero scheduled to release for Overwatch 1, and the Blizzard team has came out and said that this is the last DLC hero for the base game until they release Overwatch 2, and then they were going to release more heroes for Overwatch 2, but also Sojourn, I wish I knew how to pronounce her name, the African-American woman that you saw constantly in the Overwatch 2 campaign mission reporting on the radio, was supposed to be a brand new hero. And I don't know when they were going to release her, but you gotta think that if they were going to release Overwatch 2 at this year's BlizzCon, then they probably have to release a new hero alongside Overwatch 2 because Echo was released a couple months ago, so that means about 5 to 6 months without a brand new hero, which also could be a good thing. I made a video a long time ago talking about why it's good for Blizzard not to release new heroes, because they can work on the base game rather than throwing a new monkey wrench in the whole thing and mess everything up. So maybe in this next couple of months they could fix, quote unquote, fix the base game of Overwatch, which they have been doing. I mean, you see the main nerfs, you see it, I know you have if you've been watching me. So come to the release of Overwatch 2, the game is quote unquote fixed, it's quote unquote balanced so that everybody can have enjoyable time and play every single hero that they want and not have to get yelled at by their teammates for not playing the meta when they don't know the meta because they haven't played Overwatch in years, and they also just get to release Overwatch 2. Again, a lot of this is just using basic logic because there is absolutely no way that they weren't gonna announce anything new involving Overwatch 2 at this year's BlizzCon, and now that it's canceled, it's like, okay, now they're just gonna release it online more than likely. On top of that, it's gonna be months until Overwatch receives a new hero, so more than likely Overwatch 2 is gonna come before a new hero or at the exact same time in relative time, because do you really think they're gonna wait a whole entire year until they add a new hero? No, the heroes are the lifeblood of Overwatch, so for them to wait that long, it would not be a smart thing. And there are lots of smart people at Blizzard. I would hope so. If not, Blizzard, please just hire me. Just hire me for the marketing department and I can fix your company. It's not like it needs fixing, but come on now. Blizzard just has to do something to tide us over until the official release of Overwatch 2. That's why I really like the idea of the beta, because all the people that weren't at BlizzCon that got to experience the Overwatch 2 experience can now experience it at home, and Blizzard doesn't really lose anything by not having BlizzCon being held this year in relation of the Overwatch 2 section of their IPs. I don't know about like World of Warcraft and StarCraft and all of them. And then after that initial beta in November, then come next year's anniversary event, then they can finally release release Overwatch 2. Again, it's all speculation, but what do they really expect to do when involving Overwatch 2? Are they really going to make us wait a whole entire year and a half until they release a new hero and Overwatch 2? Like, they really want us to wait, and I don't think they're going to do that unless Overwatch 2 is just not finished. But they just recently released the lead writer of Overwatch, so the story has to be done. It just has to be. Again, I don't know if it is, but if they're releasing the lead writer, it probably is finished. And the animation, like, what are they doing in this time? Well, they're probably gearing up to release Overwatch 2 pretty soon, and that is my guess, but I could definitely be wrong. People in the comments have told me that they're not even going to release Overwatch 2 this year, and it's not going to be released until 2022. We don't know. We don't know, but this is what I'm guessing is going to happen in light of BLIZZCON being canceled. It might not be a bad thing. Like, it is a bad thing, but it's a good thing because it's keeping people safe, but it might not be a bad thing because this is hinting at Overwatch 2 coming sooner rather than later. Maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.